Starting out today, I'd like to come into thoracic heart opener. So I'm going to give you a couple of options for that. If you're wanting the mellower version, you can either roll up your mat or you can grab a blanket and then you'll find your roll up here. So kind of long and skinny. The fatter this is, the more intense it's going to be. So as you come into this, if it feels like too much, so you lay back, so you don't want it in the mid back, it's kind of the upper back. I just got some nice cracks as I laid over this. So my shoulder blades are pressing into the mat, kind of just opening up this chest area. Legs can be extended to straight if that feels okay, or you can have knees bent, feet wide, knocking in towards each other. If you'd like a little more sensation and you have a couple of blocks at home, you can come into this supported fish pose. So kind of similar place that we're going to hit. You're going to take one block, find that spot. So it's the upper back, but your shoulder blades drape over, and then you're going to have a block for your head as well. Unless you have a really long neck, in which case, if it feels nice to just rest your head on the floor, you can do that. Otherwise, you can play with different heights. And then again, what feels better in your body? Having legs extended. For some of us, that puts tension in the lower back that isn't nice. So if that's you, you just keep the knees bent, allow them to knock in towards each other. And then whatever variation you're in here in this thoracic heart opener, feel your shoulders really release and drape. So try to just breathe some space into your body. And you're beginning to find the rhythm of your Ujjayi breath. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Trying to keep the length of the inhale, length of the exhale really nice and even. Good work. And just allowing your attention to come to that sound of the breath. So it's the most important thing. You're letting the day so far go, the week so far, all of the things, everything that's on your plate. You're not going to worry about it for the next little bit. And we're just going to be here quiet for a couple of moments. So soak that up. You will get distracted. That's okay. Every time your attention wanders, come back to your breath. On your inhale, just notice that expansion of the rib cage, the front of the body, the sides of the body, the back of the body. It's very three-dimensional. Everything contracts in as you exhale. Good. On your next inhale, whichever variation you're in, just go ahead and stretch your arms up overhead, any amount. Now palms facing towards each other. So find a little more length. Imagine that somebody's gently pulling on your wrists. And then as you exhale, just release your arms by your side. So if you're on your roll up, you can roll off to one side or the other. You might do that on the blocks as well. I also find I like to just press down into my forearms and come on up. So that works as well. Return to your back. And we're going to do our little half moon stretch. So landing on your back, kind of an extended Tadasana pose, reclining Tadasana pose here. Pressing into the center of your heels, your toes point up towards the ceiling, and then you're stretching your arms up overhead, palms face in towards each other. Let's bring our left fingertip to our right wrist. Good. And then to start to wiggle your upper body off to the right, and then walk your legs off to the right. So both hip plates still pressing into the mat underneath you nice and even, but you're finding this little C shape, this curve shape in your body. You might take your right ankle over your left. And then you're just breathing here. Smooth and steady, feeling shoulder blades release down, and then feeling that stretch through the right side of your waist. I might have cued this wrong, opposite, so you might be feeling it on the right side. Or the left side. You know what I mean. It's like I'm having a Monday. All right, so a couple more good breaths here. Good. Uncross ankle, walk feet back to center, and then release wrists, wiggle upper body back to center. And you're going to go the opposite direction of what you just went. So holding on to the opposite wrist, and then just inchworming your upper body off to the side. And then legs come off to the side too. Keep the back side of your body pressing nice and even. And kind of look up underneath that top arm if it feels okay. And then the side of your body that's making the curve, maybe you take that ankle over the opposite ankle, just intensifying things a little bit. That feels like too much, just uncross. Breath smooth and steady. Good, and then go ahead and uncross ankle if you took that. Walk feet back to center. Wiggle upper body back to center. Good, stretch, stretch, stretch here. So toes point up towards the ceiling, and then let's go ahead and point them forward so you're getting a stretch on the front of the leg, the ankle, it feels really nice. And then toes point up towards the ceiling again. Just release your arms by your side, hug your knees into your chest, and then begin to roll forward and back on your spine, assuming that it feels okay to do so. If it doesn't, you're just gonna roll off to one side or the other. Otherwise, you're taking just several rocks and rolls here, and you're gonna eventually roll on up to seated, making your way to your tabletop position. So landing with your shoulders over your wrists. Knees underneath your hips, start to find your cat-cow. So press down into your shins, inhale, arch in your lumbar. Good, feel a little of that thoracic opening even here as you exhale, press the mat away, lengthen through the back of the neck. Continuing like this at your pace, maybe closing your eyes, gently warming up the spine here, just noticing how things are feeling. Good work, couple more. As you inhale, come back to neutral spine. Let's do our thread the eye of the needle. So just getting to the shoulders a little bit. So rooting down into your right palm, left arm comes underneath. And then you can lay down on that left ear, that left cheek. You might be placing your head on a block or a blanket. It's kind of pinning down. This can be very intense. So feel those left ribs wrap up toward the ceiling. Stay here like this, or maybe extend your right fingertips up. Kind of lean that shoulder head back. And then start to externally rotate that palm. Bend the elbow, grab a piece of shirt, piece of pants, that lower left side. Maybe you can get your fingertips to the inside of that left thigh, just finding a little leverage to open things up. Breath smooth and steady. Always returning to the breath. So it really is this really important part of our yoga practice. It helps to thread all of the poses together. It helps to focus the mind, quiet the mind. As you inhale, stretch your right arm up if you took the wrap. Nice work. As you exhale, you unwind. Press back up to your tabletop. Good. So shoulders over wrists again. Root down into your left palm. This time we thread that right arm underneath, landing on the ear, the shoulder. If this side is a little tighter, use some proppage if you need. And stay here like this, or start to stretch your left fingertips up towards the ceiling, leaning that left shoulder head back as you wrap those right ribs towards the sky. And then externally rotate, reach around, find a piece of shirt, piece of pants. Maybe you can get your fingertips to the inside of that left thigh, right thigh rather. Just using that leverage to open up that left shoulder. Breath smooth and steady. Come back to the sound of your breath if you've lost it. Good. On your next inhale, stretch left arm up. Exhale, unwind. Good. Walk your hands forward a couple of inches. Spread your fingers, keep your belly lifted here, and then inhale, shift shoulders slightly ahead of wrists. Couple mini chaturangas as we exhale, elbows bend an inch, 2, no more than halfway. Inhale, press up, gazes slightly forward of your fingertips. Exhale, lower, nice. Good, couple more. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. As we exhale, we lower, we pause at halfway. And then everything lands down in one piece. Tops of the feet press. Fingertips are underneath your shoulder heads, just moving right away into our low cobra with the breath. So inhale, chest extends forward and up. Anchor down into your pubic bone, your hip bones. Inhale, extension forward. And then as you exhale, you roll down. Continue like this. Maybe close your eyes. Feel this stretch across your heart and chest. Activate the legs so they're really anchoring you, grounding you down. Couple more. Inhale up, hold here. And then as you exhale, just start to gaze out over that right shoulder. Move in that direction. You might not get all the way there, but just feeling that stretch in your neck. And maybe even tuck your chin a little bit. Just see how that shifts where you're getting sensation. Okay, chin lifts, exhale to center. Take an inhale there. And then as you exhale, start to bring your gaze out over that left shoulder. Keep those elbows squeezing in. Perhaps start to tuck your chin a little bit. And stretching out the neck. We carry a lot of tension there. Good. As you inhale, chin starts to lift. Exhale, come back to center. All right, from here we press to our tabletop. Curl our toes under. Keep a bend in your knees as you pull your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Releasing your ears between your biceps. Spreading fingers, pressing evenly, firming the mat away. And then go ahead and stay on those right toes, but melt that left heel back. Feel that stretch in the back of the leg. Back up to tippy toes on both feet. Exhale, melt your right heel back. Good, up to tippy toes. Stretch sit bones up, feel that length, hold on to it as you start to release your heels back any amount. They might not get there. You might keep a generous bend in your knees. Breath smooth and steady. As we inhale, we shift forward, coming into our plank pose. Good. As you exhale, you lower to halfway. You can use your knees here. Land on your belly. Nice work. As you inhale, low cobra, and then this time you have the option to drag hands back, wrists underneath your elbows, making your way into your upward facing dog if you're ready to go there. So legs really active, shins, knees, thighs lifting up off the mat. From here, roll over your toes, downward dog. From your low cobra, you press to your tabletop and then come to your downward dog. Let's start to walk our hands back to meet our feet. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Inhaling, pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Beautiful work. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Starting to flow here, so you're at the back of the mat. Inhaling, reaching. Exhale, gracefully fold in, emptying out of breath. Inhale, fill up, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, fold, and then press down to rise up, taking up space, letting this feel really good. Exhaling, hands come together at your heart. 2 more, just moving with your breath. So these half Surya Namaskaras, maybe closing your eyes if that feels nice. And you're finding the rhythm that's working for you right now. Good. When you're done with that second round, just pausing in your mountain pose, and we're going to start to add on here as you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Lead with your right hand, start to walk forward into your downward facing dog. Good. Ears release between your ears. When you get there, take a couple of breaths. You're just gazing between your feet. As we inhale, we're going to lift our right leg up. Keep your hips nice and even. As you exhale, step that foot through. Land on your left knee. Good. Inhale, rise up. Coming into your Januasana Crescent Pose. And then we're going to bring our right fingertips to our left wrist. Squeeze that right hip in as you exhale. Side bend here. Spin these right ribs up. Maybe gaze up underneath that left arm. Good. As we inhale, we come up to center. As we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to the mat. You might have blocks, hands on blocks here. Start to straighten that right leg. So right hip draws back, left hip forward. It's a little not runner's lunge, rather little half splits pose. Getting into the hamstring, which can be really, really intense. So keep sending your exhale to the belly of that muscle. Breath smooth and steady. Good. So we're going to rock forward here. Plant our palms. Keep your gaze forward. Curl your left toes under. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. Take an inhale. Legs are really active. As you exhale, shift forward. Maybe use your knees. Lower to halfway hover or all the way down. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. Beautiful work. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From here, as you inhale, lift your left leg, hips even. Exhale, step that foot through. So land on that right knee. And then as we inhale, we come on up, Januasana. Good. Left fingertips to right wrist. As you exhale, lean off to the left. Feel this left hip squeeze in to give you some stability. Maybe looking up underneath that top arm. Beautiful work. Good. Inhale, come up to center. And then exhale, release your hands down. Start to straighten that left leg. So pull that left hip back, right hip forward. And flex these left toes. Ooh, maybe you take a little bend in the knee. Some days this can feel really intense depending upon what we've been doing. So you're just kind of noticing, you're getting a sense for what's going on in your body. All right, so we're going to start to rock forward here. Plant your palms, curl your right toes under. We're going to step our left foot to meet our right foot as we come into downward facing dog. Nice. And then lead with the right hand again. Start to walk your hands back to meet your feet. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching Utthita Hastasana into Tadasana. Exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Keep your heels planting, lead with your left hand, nice and slow. Walk out into your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths when you get there. Great work. As you inhale, left leg lifts, hips stay even. Exhale, step that foot through. Make sure you're not on a tightrope, so feet, hips distance apart. Keep your right toes curled under. Just find a little bend in that right knee. Inhale, rise up. Crescent pose here. So as we exhale, we're going to bend a little deeper. Inhale, press both legs to straight. Couple like that. Exhale, sink in. Good. Inhale, press legs to straight. One more exhale, sink in. Keep the deep bend in this left knee as you inhale. Start to straighten that right leg any amount. Feeling this nice hip flexor stretch. And let's do our little side bend again in the standing version. So left fingertips to right wrist as you exhale. Lean off to the left. Maybe you release that left hand down. Reach down the back side of the right thigh. Nice, Pamela. Breath smooth and steady. Good. Lower belly is pulling in and up. As you inhale, upright yourself here. As you exhale, hands plant. Gaze forward, hips low. Step to your plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, shift forward. Lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. Modifying if you need to. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so we inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. So heel toe that foot to the right a little bend in that left knee. Inhale, rise up. Full crescent pose. Exhale, sink in nice and deep. Inhale, both legs straighten. Good. As you exhale, you sink in. Good. Inhale, press both legs to straight. Exhale, sink in. This time as you inhale, keep this right knee bent, but start to straighten your left leg. And then right fingertips to left wrist. Squeeze your right hip in as you start to lean off to the left. Feel these right ribs spin up. Pinky side of that left hand spins down. And then maybe release that right arm back. Feel the shoulder blades release down and squeeze in towards each other. Really beautiful. As we inhale, we stretch up. Exhale, we're going to plant our palms. We're going to step our right foot back to meet our left foot. Coming into downward facing dog. Nice inhale there. Lead with your left hand as you start to walk your hands back to meet your feet. When you get there, as you inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, fold in. Pressing down into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Beautiful work. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Go ahead and walk to the top of your mat. And we'll just approach that from the top here. So as you inhale, stretch up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Keep right foot forward, step your left foot back. Inhale, rise up into your crescent pose. As you exhale, hands come down. Let's root into our left palm so shoulder is over the wrist, and then start to spin open into a twist. So wrapping those left ribs to the right. Fire up that left leg. You can always lower the back knee if you need to. You could be gazing down, forward, or up at that right thumb. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other. These look really nice. One more deep inhale. Exhale, unwind. So keep your gaze forward, keep your hips low, step to your plank pose, take an inhale. Nice work. As you exhale, shift forward. Go through your Chaturanga Vinyasa, nice and easy with your breath. We all meet back in our downward facing dog. As you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. All right, as we inhale, we rise up into our crescent pose. Couple of breaths here. Fire up the arms, so feel the muscle firm to bone. Back leg is really nice and strong. As we exhale, we lower down and we set up for our twist. So right hand lands, right wrist under your shoulder. Press to the inner edge of your left foot as you start to spin right ribs to the left. Back leg really strong and steady. It's helping to keep you stable. You can also have that back knee down. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Breath smooth and steady. Maybe bring your gaze up. Beautiful work. All right, as we exhale here, we unwind. We step our right foot to meet our left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Keep your left foot forward, right foot way back. Inhale, rise up into your crescent pose. Good. As you exhale, hands come down. Step to your plank, take an inhale. And then exhale, lower halfway, hover or all the way down. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward facing dog. Beautiful work. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through. Good. Inhale, rise up. As you exhale, hands come down. You step your left foot to meet your right foot. Inhale, chest extends forward. As you exhale, you fold in. Press down into your feet. Stretch your arms out and up. Nice. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. All right. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So bend your knees, plant your palms, right foot way back, then left foot. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower halfway, hover or all the way down. Good. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward facing dog. And then as we exhale, we pull back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through and then land on your left knee. You might need to pat it up. We're gonna bring both hands to the inside of this foot. You can just walk that right foot off to the side a little bit. We're gonna just get into this hip flexor stretch a little more. So really melt this left hip down. You're lengthening back through your left toes. That leg is essentially in Cobra Pose. If you feel like you have space to come down onto your forearms, you can do that. Keep directing your sternum forward as you reach your tailbone back. And then let's turn this into a little twist here. So if you're on your forearm, you can stay there. You can be pressing into your palm. Start to stretch your right arm up. And it's okay too, if it feels nice in your body, to roll to the outer edge of that right foot. Sometimes it gives a nice stretch, kind of that hip crease, that glute crease. Good. One more deep inhale. As we exhale here, we unwind so you can heel toe that right foot back to the midline. And then let's curl our left toes under. And then your choice. From here, you can step back to your downward facing dog if you're starting to get cooked. If you want a little more heat, you take a Chaturanga Vinyasa. And take that little sequence to the second side. So as you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through, land on your right knee, and then heel toe left foot to the left a little bit. Both hands to the inside. So coming into our lizard pose, intense on this right hip screen, hip flexor, but also you're gonna feel a little groin stretch in that left side. You could also have hands on blocks here, especially if you're a little tighter in your body. If you feel like you can go a little lower, maybe you come down to your forearms or forearms on blocks. Try to keep length through your torso. So tailbone directs back, sternum reaches forward. And then we find our twist here. So you could be on your forearm or pressing into your palm. Start to spin your chest open to the left, stretching left arm up, shoulder blades stack on top of each other. Breath smooth and steady. Couple more here. Good. As you exhale, you start to unwind. So planting left hand on the outside of that left foot, curl your right toes under. Chaturanga Vinyasa, or pull back to downward facing dog. Good, and then from our downward facing dog, let's just come into quick little child's pose. So big toes together, knees apart, melt your hips back. Stretch your arms forward. Let everything slow down. So really reconnect with your breath again. Let it lengthen and stretch out. And it's like a little mini reset here. Just find a little twist, start to walk your arms off to the right. So laying your belly out over that right thigh. Good, walk back to center and then off to the left. Good, back to center here. And inhale, slowly start to roll on up. And let's roll onto our backs. When you get there, hug your knees into your chest. Let's just get into the core a little bit and then do some back bending. All right, so if there's tenderness in your lower back, you're gonna take your hands underneath your hips. Otherwise, your arms can just be resting by your side. Go ahead and make a little L shape with your legs here. So extending legs up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades are nice and heavy. Deep inhale. As you exhale, lower right leg until it almost touches. Take the full exhale to get there. And then inhale up. Exhale, lower left. Good, inhale up. So continuing like that. And then just imagine that you're standing on your feet. So it's like you're gonna place your feet on the ceiling or the sky. If you want a little more still, maybe you reach your arms up overhead. And this is one of those ones that kind of, starting out, it's not too bad, but as we do more of these, you're gonna start to feel it at the top of the leg. Hip flexors, you're gonna feel it if you have tight hip flexors naturally. Okay, let's do a few more to each side. If you would like to do both legs at the same time for several rounds, you're welcome to do that. As you go there, notice if you get any gripping in your lower back that doesn't feel good. Nice work, Pamela. All right. So finish up your left side or both legs. So legs extended again. All right. So from here, we're going to start to lower our right leg down. Good. And then we're going to start to curl up. So shoulders come up, arms stretch forward. Again, keep the legs really active. Feel lower belly press down into the mat. Couple of breaths here like this. You can always take your hands behind your head too if you're feeling a lot of tension in your neck. Good. Inhale, right leg up. And then exhale, lower left. See if you can curl those shoulders up off the mat a little more. I know it's intense. Keep breathing. Good. Inhale up. Give the knees a squeeze into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. And then let's find our bridge pose. So landing with your feet on the mat. So ankles underneath your knees, arms by your side. We're just going to move this with the breath a little bit, and then we'll come into a couple different holds. So as you inhale, press into your feet. Start to lift your hips up, direct your tailbone forward. Exhale, lower down. Good. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, lower. Start to add your arms here. So as you inhale, hips lift, arms reach up overhead. And as we exhale, we lower down. Continuing like this little vinyasa with this bridge pose, really articulating each vertebra in your spine as you roll up and then down. Good. As you inhale this time, keep your hips up. Exhale, release arms by your side. Grab the outer edges of your mat. That's especially nice if you're a little tighter in the shoulders, or you can interlace fingers underneath you. So you're snuggling your shoulder blades underneath. Check in with your feet. Have you started to roll to the outer edges of the feet? There's almost this sense of pigeon toeing a little bit. You don't have to overdo that. But the feet often like to turn out here. So sometimes we move in the opposite direction to find that place of symmetry. You're directing your tailbone forward. You're feeling the glutes squeeze. You're feeling this openness and stretch across your heart and chest. One more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, release hands, release sides of the mat, lower down. Just take a couple of breaths here. And let's do one more bridge pose. So we're going to do it with our robot arms. So you're going to bend your elbows, palms are facing in towards each other. So as we come up, as we press up, I really want you to press into the top of this arm. Gaze is just up towards the ceiling. All right, here we go. As we inhale, press into the feet, hips lift. And then you're really firming into the upper arm. And you can even snuggle the shoulders underneath here. Legs active, tailbone directing forward, breath smooth and steady. A few more good breaths. Good. As you exhale, slowly lower down, and we're going to release all of that with a nice little twist. So give the knees a squeeze into your chest. And then keep the knees squeezing in. Bring your arms out in a T shape. As you exhale, drop knees off to the right. You're either gazing straight up at the ceiling or sky, rolling on to your left cheek, left ear. maybe gazing out over your left fingertips. And bringing the spine back to neutral after that back bending. Good. As you inhale, knees come up to center. As you exhale, they drop off to the left. And you can, again, gaze out over right fingertips if that feels okay. You do want to feel both shoulder blades heavy here. So if that's not happening, just slide something underneath your right shoulder or come out of the twist a little bit. So block or blanket underneath your thighs works as well. Good. As you inhale, knees come up to center. Exhale, sigh the breath out. Give the knees a squeeze, rock a little bit from side to side. And then let's start to rock forward and back. And rolling all the way up. We're going to come into a little hip sequence here. So just kind of some longer hip opening holds. So we're going to come into our single pigeon first. So if you know that you're tight in the hips, you might want to grab a block or a blanket. So let's just approach this from our tabletop today. So shoulders land over your wrists. And let's actually step this right foot through. Good. And then we're going to start to heel toe it off to the left. Good. So bending the knee and then starting to stretch that left leg back. So that leg is in Cobra Pose. You can just check to make sure that it's not winging off to the side. And you're going to potentially be feeling really tight here. So you might take a little prop underneath that right sit bone. So the more flexible you are, the more you can start to square your shin to the top of your mat. Most of us are going to actually bring that heel closer to the left hip. And then we're going to be here a good minute or so. So you might be pretty upright, hands on blocks. You might start to eventually work your way in, maybe even resting your hands on fists or on a block. Keep that breath moving, and maybe you're starting to stretch it out a little more. So the inhale's getting a little longer. The exhale's getting a little longer. This is almost like a little mini yin session. So do check in, observe the places where you might be gripping, holding on that you don't need to. Can you soften in those places? Is there tension in your face and jaw? Can you release there? Soak up that sound of your breath. All right, so from here, we're going to start to come on up. And we're going to take this left leg off to the side. You might want to sit up. on something here. So we're gonna come into kind of a wide-legged Januasana. So pressing down into that left heel. And if it feels better in your body to have this leg kind of more the classic configuration, you're welcome to do that as well, but you can also take it wide. Again, that right heel is just squeezing in, and we're gonna find a little twist here. So you might wanna block to the inside of this leg, or you can rest your forearm on the thigh or shin. Let's just take our right fingertips to that right sit bone. So start to find a little twist. So you're just wrapping your left ribs up towards the sky, the ceiling. Keep those left toes flexed and active. And then maybe take this top arm up and over. If that doesn't feel good, you could also just bring your fingertips to the back of your head. Lean that right elbow back. Beautiful, beautiful work. Try to fill up on the inhale. Good, couple more breaths. Can you release somewhere? As you inhale, come upright, and we're gonna make our way into a forward fold. So our double pigeon on the left side. So we're gonna take this left shin in front. So you might have to reconfigure here. So we're crossing shins in the center. Left shin is in front. For those of us that are a little more flexible in the hips and are able to stack the shins, you can do this. So if your knee is lifted a lot, just be here. Good, and then we're gonna root down into our sit bones. Inhale, arms stretch out and up. As you exhale, start to hinge forward, fold in any amount. You might be upright on fingertips. Some of us are a little more open in the hips, so we can walk down to forearms. We might even be resting the forehead on a block. They're all good places to be as long as you're getting some sensation in your body. Keep that breath smooth and steady. Good, couple more. So you inhale, start to roll up here. Extend your legs to straight, give them a little shake out. We'll take that to the second side. So just cross ankles, come back to your tabletop. Good, and then step that left foot through. Start to heel toe off to the right until that shin lays down, and then you start to sneak that right leg back. Again, you can just peek, make sure that the ankle is out directly from your hip. Noticing how this side feels different, making your way in here, and that might be nice and slow, especially with this longer hold. So move in that direction, use any props that you need to. Again, a little block or blanket underneath that left sit bone can be really nice. Right away, observe, how does this side feel different? Does it feel different? Do you need to do less? Do you need to do a little more? Just noticing. Making sure you're not clenching your teeth, so soften face, jaw. About another 30 seconds here. Good, nice and slow. You're gonna start to just make your way out of this, and then we come into that wide-legged Januasana. So take this right leg up and over. So you can be pretty wide here if that works in your body. I'm gonna get my ankle on the mat. Also, you might bring that foot a little further forward. So all good places to be. And we're gonna find a little lateral stretch and twist here. So right forearm to your thigh or shin to the inside, maybe on a block. Good, left fingertips to that left hip. Just lean that elbow back. So feel this opening here. Make sure that you're really firming down into that right heel so your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. You can stay here like this. Maybe extend your left arm up and over. If that doesn't feel good, you could also take your fingertips to the back of your head. Just lean that elbow back. So a few breaths here in this pose, kind of this nice asymmetric stretch. This is really good for lower back stuff, sciatic stuff. Find your breath if you've lost it. Always reminding yourself to come back to that. Good, couple more breaths. See if you can wrap those right ribs up towards the ceiling a little more. And then anchor into your sit bones as you inhale. Use your core strength to help you upright yourself. And we come into our double pigeon. So right shin crosses in front of left shin. You can stack shins on top of each other if that feels good. You could be seated on a blanket if you're a little tighter. Root into your sit bones. Inhale. Find lots of length and space. And then as you exhale, hinge, forward fold, and so we're back in this right hip. Can rest forehead on fists that you stack. If you're close to the floor or on a block, if you're pretty upright, hey, don't sweat it. You're still getting a good stretch. We're all built a little different, so our bodies do different things. And we've kind of already been moving in this direction, but really consciously make this shift now towards your Savasana state of mind. So we're moving towards our final resting pose, which is a really important pose. It's where we check in again. It's where we let all of the hard work that we've been doing assimilate. All right, so as you inhale, slowly start to roll on up. And then again, just extend your legs to straight. Give them a little shake out. We're gonna make our way onto our backs into Shavasana. I'm actually gonna, so if you still have that roll up handy, if you were using that for your thoracic opener, I'm gonna do my Shavasana in this. So kind of a supported Shavasana. So I'm gonna take it the long way on the mat this time. I'm gonna snuggle it up against the small of my back, and then I'm gonna lay over this, and it's really nice because you can drape your shoulders. So again, it's a little bit of that thoracic opening feeling. You could also take something underneath your knees here, especially if there's any sensation in your lower back. You're also welcome to just find a classic Shavasana, so no props. You're welcome to end in quiet meditation, so seated if that feels better in your body. Wherever you're at, really allow yourself to get quiet, to draw inward, to soak up these final restful moments before we jump back into life. Take a deeper inhale. Let the breath go, and just start to bring some gentle movement back to your body, wiggling fingers, stretching out. And staying soft and quiet, you're going to roll to one side or the other. So just rolling off that blanket if you were using that. Just find the fetal position. And you're going to use your hands to help you press up to a comfortable seat. And just notice how you feel here. Notice what's shifted for you physically, mentally. Notice how your breath is different. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up and working hard. Just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this good feeling you've created with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart. Just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today. Thank you.